Alright. We're gonna pose some solution to the new Hera video. This map isn't fun anymore. Also, check out that thumbnail art. You know this man is a hustler. He'll also be talking about how, come to my Twitch, let's get 1,000 likes. And you know what? I respect that. It's his job. He does his thing. And that's cool. But that being said, I have some issues with this particular video. So in the first minute or so, he talks about how the basic problem in team game Arabia is that everybody goes both scouts as well as archers. If this would load, that would be absolutely delightful. It wouldn't be a poop lord video if we didn't have at least one thing go wrong. Let's turn this bad boy up.
So starting off at number 1, the core reason as to why team games on Arabia just suck, and that is the stale meta. Now, if you consider some other maps like Black Forest, Arena, those maps...
Okay, so basically Arabia is stale and other maps are not stale because, and it's funny, he actually lists like 3 reasons here.
Allow for a lot of different strategies. You can go for like fast imp pushes, you can go for some sort of siege push, you can go for
fast imp, siege,
some sort of 2v1 like human boom into ramp.
Kuman boom into ramp.
Or something like that. It allows for some strategies. But on Arabia...
Oh no, I just thought that was kind of funny. It's like, these are the 3 options. Go imp fast, and that's fun. I don't know. There's more meme strats, in my opinion, than just that. And I don't think that this is an Arabia problem necessarily. The whole flank goes archers, pocket goes scouts, and then potentially goes into knights or whatever else it is. I think this is actually a one-dimensional playstyle that has been interpreted by us as the community to be the best and only way that people can play. And people like myself who do all of these memes and crazy interactions, we get outcasted and said, oh no, that's not the way. Yet at the same time, we're complaining about the meta being still, at least in 2v2 Arabia. Let's fast forward over here to the 6-minute mark. So it's a whole bunch of blah, 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 blah. And you can watch this video yourself. But I've watched it a couple of times now. So I just want to touch on a couple of key points. And then we are going to fix the issue. Here we go.
Following this exact situation. Obviously, they're going to be playing at lower level.
So here his argument is that this is happening throughout all of the ELO brackets, be it a 1,000 team game ELO, or actually I don't think, he cuts it off at 1,200 team game ELO, but from 1,200 team game ELO all the way up to 2K team game ELO, or whatever the highest now is. And I don't think that to be the case. Meta boys play meta, but I don't think that's always going to be better, especially at lower ELOs. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff on Arabia, especially since T90 has come out with the Yapudi videos and the White Phosphor videos and all these crazy castle builds that you can also do. These can be played in 2v2 settings.
So it's like not going to be as clean, but the ideas are still the exact same. And so I make the statement that this is basically the situation at all levels that are not complete beginners. And this is a really big problem because when you have something so stale in a strategy game, it takes the strategy aspect out of it, and that completely corrupts the nature of Age of Empires and just leaves a sour taste in.
Okay, so I know I've been playing that for a little bit, but I think we create that still taste for ourselves by always doing the same strategy. Now he comes in with the argument that, okay, to mix it up, what you should do is lame TC drop and Vil fight, or send villagers forward, and that is lame in itself.
Sending Vils forward, laming, walling in resources, or douching, which is like town center dropping in Castle Age, completely sacrificing a flank just to take out the enemy flank, just to make the game messy for God's sake, and break the stale meta. But I have a problem with that too, because that playstyle is also kind of lame, and if that's the only option to the meta, then it's like you either play a standard boring game, or you play some messy, again, very little strategy game.
First of all, I don't think maybe this is the part that irked me. I don't think TC dropping is a low strategy ordeal. I think there's a lot of strategy that goes into TC dropping, from walking around the orbit of the TC to hitting the wood line where you place the TC. They're probably going to go archers, then you place it on the gold, yada, yada, yada. Which civilization do you pick to do TC drops with? But more on that later. Personally, I don't find it that lame to lame either. It's part of the game. Taking a boar when your opponent is, for example, Mongols can be huge. Or if you are Mongols, you can get scouts out significantly faster. Yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Anything in a war game to hinder your opponent, I feel like is fair game. Thus, walling in resources as well.
Because dropping your town center on your opponent's flank, not too much strategy in that. If that's what you're going to go for every game, that also will get stale very fast. And so it seems like you're just dealing with a situation where it's bad and worse. And right now we're stuck on the bad, but it could get worse if people start douching as the response to this. And douching doesn't actually work 100% of the time. It's actually not a good strategy. It's never been, but it at least provides some alternative at least. Another issue.
Okay. TC dropping is not a good strategy. I disagree with this statement as well. And even at the professional level, it has been shown that TC dropping, and we're talking team games here, maybe not in 1v1s, but in team games, there is some value into TC dropping. Ruben Stock has shown that time and time again, and I think people are not implementing that correctly. But once again, we're not going to be focusing just on TC dropping. We're going to be focusing on how to fix this still meta and make it better.
Issue that is kind of a minor point to the main issue, which is the staleness, is the fact that picking Civ is...
Oh yeah, so Civ picking issue, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You should be able to pick your Civ in my personal perspective. If you don't like that, you can always hit that shield, but the norm is that people pick Civ. It is what it is. I don't think there's necessarily a solution to that. But what I found really shocking was at 825 over here, Hera says...
lately on Twitch, and I went Scrim Spear. I'm a 2k7, 2k8 player. I'm dying to 2ks. I'm dying to...
So he's trying to break the meta here and trying to go Skirm Spear and all that good stuff. And he says, I am trying to break the meta. I.
1900s who are just playing the meta. I can't break the meta. I'm getting rolled.
I can't break the meta. I'm getting rolled by all of these higher individuals, or sorry, these lower individuals who I should be beating in 1v1s.
Like dying in feudal age. And I'm trying my best to break the meta and do something a little different, and nothing's working. So
I think the reason that Hera is not finding success and working things is because he's using the I word here. If you are doing a team game, you need to have a team strategy. That's what makes team games so unique. That's what makes the difference in my personal perspective. Of course, if you are going Skirm and Spear yourself in 1v1, that might work very, very well. But Skirm Spear is worse than Scout Archer. And if you're getting 2v1, you're going to get steamrolled, of course. But you need to have a team effort in order to fix that. So what I'm trying to say...
I simply don't have a solution. I've tried a few things. I've thought about it in theory. What could be changed? Simply, nothing helps. Towering up doesn't work because they just go to your pocket. Walling up doesn't work for the same reason. Any other unit just dies to the combo. Nothing actually works. And unfortunately, I don't have a solution in sight. And I leave it open to you guys in the comments.
Nothing works by yourself.
If you guys have any ideas for this. But this is where I see this going. I see it going...
I forgot where the part about Superman is and him not being Superman, yada, yada, yada. Well, we're going to be freaking Superman. And we're going to show you that this A does not affect people at every single ELO. Just like monks don't affect the majority of people in my personal perspective. I think in the 1%, this might be true. Maybe this is the only way that you can play the game. But dag nabbit, guys. We need to have a little bit more creativity, a little bit more heart, a little bit more soul. Take a little bit more risk. We've seen individuals getting 2.2k with crazy strategies. Yes, be it in a 1v1 setting, Huang or White Phosphor or whatever. Even Beery with just straight up Berber villager rushing. Other things are possible. You just have to have the guts to try it. And you may not win every single game. But then again, you might not win every single game playing Scout Archer. I'm very, very proud of this next part. I made a freaking flowchart. So what is my proposed solution? My proposed solution is team game strategies. For example, lean into other people's bonuses and whatnot. And then we're going to talk about my favorite one because these are great. But there's even better team game strategies out there on Arabia, in my opinion. So one of the worst things is you could go for machine gun crossbowmen, where, for example, one person goes for Ethiopians, the other one goes for Saracens. The Saracen player tries to slow down to the best of their ability, and then you lean very heavily into those crossbowmen, blowing everything up. English breakfast. You're slowing down your opponent by means of scouts, with Mongols sending sheep to the Britain individual, my dog barking profusely because that's what we do to British people, just stuff for them. Sling is possible as well in team games and is very, very, very strong. Now, depending on your elo, this may or may not work, but I've seen people do Goth Kondo slings on Arabia, for crying out loud. But even just slinging one person to get knights and break the meta is also a possibility, in my opinion. You can also get creative with just slinging resources without slinging resources. Sending sheep to, for example, a Tatar player who's going to go for a fast castle step play, or to a Ganjara player who then goes fast castle Shwamsha Riders, clears up all of those nasty, nasty archers that we just talked about, as well as Scout, which is the meta, but we know better. We are going to redefine that meta. Another one of my favorite strategies is the farm sling strategy as Teutons. You go for Teuton Tower Rush and then construct farms for your ally, which will then allow you to get a really, really fast castle age timing, get knights up, and clear up any pressure that is coming your way, and your allies being annoying with those towers, which all kind of ties into this next idea and why I think Arabia does not need to be stale. And I know my guy's like blocking just a little bit. It's fine. Oh, beautiful. Now you can see all of it. And I color-coded them to show how effective I think they are. And how much they drop my elo or don't drop my elo. And I'm not afraid to play suboptimally, because suboptimal play leads to more optimal strategies in the long runs. And I think this is a very, very strong and increases my elo on a consistent basis. I call this bracket the slow and clean strategy. So the goal here is to slow down your opponent, which some of the previous strategies that we talked about have to do as well, with either one of these red or yellow categories, so that your ally can then do something in the yellow or green category. For example, one person could do a TC drop. Now, you're not just going to drop one person, you're actually going to drop one person first and then let that TC go down so that you can then quickly drop the second person, allowing your ally to then potentially go for something in this yellow category. Or if you're feeling quite brave, you might even be able to squeeze out a fast castle strategy, such as a Yapudi, how do you duty, or step lands play, or something in that nature. I think you're getting the basic premise here, and there's a lot of variation possible in each one of these sub strategies, so to speak. For example, let's just real quick break down TC drops and villager rushes, because I don't like how Hera talked about these at all. You could even just, if you don't want to commit to this and it's too much, you could send one villager forward to each of your opponents and lame their resources to the best of your ability, basically just allowing your ally to do some crazy, crazy stuff that they couldn't normally do because both of the opponents are slowed down. Now, this might be 2v2, but I've done this in 3v3 or 4v4 as well. The key is that you have a coordinated team effort and keep your ultimate goal in mind. Okay, We have a 3v3 situation going on. Two players are going to significantly slow down the other three opponents so that our ally can come in with full, let me move my guy, full schwumptious and clean everything up. This works super well, not just on Arabia, but also on maps like Lombardia, where the movement distance, the distance between players is slightly larger. There's so much possibilities, even within each of these individual strategies, which I think was completely overlooked. For example, which TC drop civilization are you going to pick? Every one of them has their own unique bonuses. You could even have the Georgians that then would allow you to get their unique unit and you get a benefit for the TC dropping. You could be an ally with a Georgian, not even you as a Georgian as a TC dropper, which is really, really cool in itself. I just changed the visual display a little bit so it's a little bit better understandable. So you wouldn't have to be Georgians. Your ally could be Georgians going fast castle, as we pointed out, going for their unique unit, for example. Also made myself a little bit smaller. But Georgians aren't the only options. You could have Vietnamese as an ally, which would also give you a bonus in TC dropping and laming and all that good villager rushing. I have some in-between strategies too that utilize TC drops but are also a villager rush. The point is not that you are winning the game as the red category. The point is that you are slowing the opponents down as much as possible. You could house rush one individual utilizing the Khmer houses, hopping in and out, hopping in and out, hopping in and out. Fight in the night, and then drop the other opponent, allowing your ally to get a more safest ordeal getting to cast. So wheelbarrow rush, kind of the same idea with Burgundians, but you don't even have to go for anything in the Dark Age. You could have enough food in the bank, drop the TC, and then click up and continue with some sort of army aggression after a TC drop has occurred. Villager rushing, I think Berbers you could do pure. You don't need to TC drop with this. But again, you could combine this back with TC dropping. Pulls used to be really, really good, but if you want to do that now, they don't get their HP generation until Feudal Age, so you'd have to move this up to this category and kind of go for a fast feudal to then fight. Same with Incas, used to be really, really good for tower rushing in feudal, but don't have that bonus, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. I could go over every single one of these sub-strategies over here and how much variation is possible within each one of these. At the end, I'll explain really, really rapidly what each one of these means, but I want to just focus in on one for right now. Scouts. We're not going to do scouts as the meta. We're going to do scouts in a slow down the opponent way. This is the only thing that matters to us. Two ways that we can go about that is APOP scouts with Khmer, where we get a really fast feudal age and get scouts out before they can do anything. They might make spears, they might make archers, they might be totally safe, but we are creating a nuisance and keeping them at home for, once again, our ally to go for something big and hopefully win us the game. Same with 12 pop. We just do it with Malay because Malay age up to the next age really, really fast. I came up with the PP Rush, which is a Portuguese no lumber camp scout rush. And once again, you can combine this strategy with your ally, them sending you over sheep so that you can keep making scouts for a longer period of time, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Realize the ultimate goal, which is 2 stable scout production right at the beginning of feudal age. No additional villagers. We're not trying to win the game. We're trying to slow down both of our opponents to the best of our ability to set up our ally for a game-winning castle age. In other words, we're going for a slow and sweep strat. And I think Personally, this works way better than people give it credit for. If your opponents play even slightly suboptimal, you'll be able to capitalize on this from 1200 elo all the way down to 1600, 1700 team game elo. I don't think what Hera said applies to everyone. Monks, OP, yes. Scouts, archers, OP, yes. If you're in the 1 percentile. But most of us, we're casual players to have some fun. So let's go over some fun strategies just to finish this bad boy off. TC drop, very self-explanatory. There's a lot of options within that. Villager rushing, we have discussed. With Berbers, you're just going to attack, in the night. One villager over, you don't have to fully commit. Goths is a great pick for this as well, as you get the instant loom, or Chinese as you're picking up loom regardless. Scouts, we talked about that there's even multiple options within going all in scouts. Tati rush, you're going to make, what? Archers. Or isn't that the meta? Yeah, but we're going to take it to the extreme. We're not going to make any additional villagers. We're just going to produce from 3 ranges. A lot of great picks for that. We talked about Saracens with the machine gun archers, or an ally being Saracens, really leaning into that bonus. But you could also go for something that reduces the wood cost on the archers, or gives you wood, allowing you to get those free ranges more quickly. Cumans come to mind, as well as Dravidians. Men at arms to slow down opponent. And this could also be the winner, by the way. One person could be doing red, you could be doing yellow, just to reiterate that. Men at arms doesn't even have to be men at arms now anymore. With Armenians, you could do long swords in feudal age. Noboru is a little bit dead, in my opinion. That's why I have the cross. But full eagles can be very, very strong. You could even move this into, that's why there's the more over here that you can't see. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the floor, Jack. Because eagles get an increased stat boost when they hit Castle Age. Sadly not as good as it used to be, as eagles have been continuously nerfed. Tower rushes, dungeon rushes, clicking to the next slides accidentally. Very, very fun, very, very effective. You can even tower rush with archers, or it doesn't have to be stale. Make it fun, make it interesting. See what works for you. And now some of the powerful strats. Hussite wagons, showtells have been proven by T90, specifically Hussite wagons, to be very, very strong. But you could go for any unique unit. You could go for Korean war wagons or something in that nature. I put Putty in a different category because they come out of the dungeons, which is really strong and effective as well with market abuse. But if your ally is going for a TC drop, they could send you some sheep over, so you don't have to go just gold so early on, making it extra strong. Knights could be standard 24 pop knights, or it could be the 16 pop variant that I've done with Khmer, or the 19 pop variant that I've done with. There's so many knight options as well. You could go for Franks to get the stronger knights, Lithuanians with some relics to get some extra boosters. Or you could go for the Georgian kind of knights. They're a unique unit, but they are very, very strong as well. And it could boost a TC drop as well. Shawarma riders. Get it? Because they... Okay, never mind. Steppe Lancers with Mongols can get a very, very fast uptime due to the hunt bonus. Fortified church drops. If you're scared, go to church. And then you could have 2 different split things as well. You could follow it up with monks, or you could follow it up with warrior monks if you're Armenians. Georgians do have a nice bonus as well, as we mentioned, for your ally who is dropping, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Elephants, also great. Siege, you could go for a God of the Godless strat. I hate doing that on Arabia because I feel like I get countered by scouts very easily, even if I am going for full scorpions. In addition, they are very, very slow to move from one of your opponents to another opponent's base. And those are a whole bunch of different strategies that you can combine as a team. The solution is not one new strategy. Rather, It is combining strategies as a team. And with that, don't let your memes just be dreams. Keep on walking. Guys, it'd be really great if we could hit 1,000 likes on this video. If you could come over to my Twitch, I would really appreciate that and grow myself as a content creator as well. And let me know your ideas in the comments section below. We also have a 7 million subscriber goal by the end of the... Had to rip on you a little bit, Hera. Nah, I'm just teasing you. You're doing a great job. Keep on walking.